When you enter into product design or UX design, the most questions that are gonna pop inside your head would be like, should I choose UX design or should I choose user interface design or should I go for interaction design or any, all these jargons that you're gonna hear in your career, especially when you started off. Should you get into UX design or should you get into UI design, and what is product design? Let us understand in this very video. My name is Anurag Ganguly. I am a self-taught product designer. I used to be a coder and a marketer, and here are my learnings. If you have not subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing because I keep on talking about product design, UX design, and UI design, and sometimes about tech also. So the basic thing about UX design is if you get into user experience design, then the basic responsibilities would be understanding who your users are, understanding what their choices are. If you are basically creating a new application, then you need to understand and you need to research behind what their actions would be like, what kind of applications are they using, what kind of other apps they are using, and what derivatives are coming out of it. And if you are into a settled tech company, or if you are creating or updating some certain application to a certain point, then you need to understand what the actual users are going through right now, what their pain points are. You might need to create storyboards, you might need to drive user journey, user flows, and a lot of things like that. Maybe some days you're creating wireframes and some days you are just researching all these things. Whereas if you are an UI designer or user interface designer, you might be responsible for the visual design perspective. For example, you might be choosing the interface elements, the UI components, what color palette should be used, what kind of typography should be used, what font family are we using, what font weight would be used, what font size would be used, what kind of drop shadows are gonna used, all these crucial, deep interface and graphic related design decisions that you are gonna make as a UI designer. Both of these terms, both of these designers are paid relatively similar. So the point is, you are getting paid to think, you are getting paid to strategize and analyze anything that is good for your user. So these points are pretty much similar in both UI and UX, but my take on this would be to do both. Don't settle for UX, don't settle for UI, don't settle for just one research, analytics, or anything. Be a complete full pack designer, because let's say if you join a startup and the startup has just got funding from Y Combinator or similar venture capitalists, if you see about, there might be times when you would be designing it as a whole. It should be a complete user experience right from the scratch, right from the research part to the design part. It needs to be covered. And our product design is nothing but, sometimes it is interchangeably used for UX UI designer, but sometimes a product designer is also responsible for understanding the market's necessities. So my name is Anurag, this has been my time, and do consider subscribing if you are new to the channel. Adios.